Hello everyone, Serbucky here and welcome back to Storm Riders, where I have spent the entire night fishing because I want as much pike as I can before it's summertime and they stop spawning. Harvesting the large Jotunblood shards now that I have my fancy new pickaxe. And summoning villagers, the second of whom was an absolute troll from the ASKA gods because they came with one of my favourite perks, Green Thumb, yeah? But next to it, Storm Rider Unease.
What possible solution? I haven't got a clue.
I ended up choosing them anyway, but that is our second villager now with the Storm Rider Unease perk in a series called Storm Riders. But the game did make up for this by offering me a villager with the Craftsman perk next, so all's well that ends well. Anyway, that's the intro. Now let's crack on, shall we? The goal for today is a big push into tier 2, so our first step is to head on over to the industrial district and start upgrading our basic workplaces. Oh, that's good timing. Hjalmar the crafter is here, only you're not Hjalmar, are you? You are Rusty. Immediate sidebar on the day's plans, I know. 1 second, I gotta set Rusty up. So Rusty, you'll be our crafter and your workplace will be known as Rusty Tools. Not Rusty's Tools, but Rusty Tools. You gotta have a lot of faith in this Rusty. And let us also put Rusty on the day 1 schedule with the rest of the villagers. Task-wise, let's just request one of all of the important things we need. So a large stone axe, a large stone pickaxe, a fishing rod for when mine breaks, a knife for filleting, hammer, hoe, a road maker just because, and when it comes to weapons, I'll want a spiked club, but we will need bones for that, but we can figure that out later. And then last, we will have a whole bunch of rope, and I'm going to, don't worry, I'm going to put it at the top, because when I had it at the bottom in my workshop guide, I got a lot of comments saying that it should be at the top, so we're going to try that out. But when I read the comments of the reasons why, you know, I kind of agree. So thank you, anyone who put the comment in about that. I learned something. Anyway, back to the plan. Let's start off by upgrading the woodcutter, which I will pin so that the builders prioritize it. Then the stone cutter, and we'll need to upgrade the gatherer's hut too in order to unlock the farm. So let's do that via the map. And done. Done. Oh, quit being so dramatic, Editor Bucky. I know exactly what went through my mind when I said done, and I know exactly what I'm going to do when we get to the editing part. Anyway, Rusty has made us a nice large stone axe, so we can start harvesting the large fir trees for the logs we need to upgrade everything to the next tier. I wonder what Editor Bucky is going to do when he gets to this bit. Maybe a jump cut, but probably just another one of his little montages that he obsesses over, making sure there's lots of match cuts and stuff. Not even noon, and our woodcutter and stone cutters have been upgraded. They are still working on the gatherer's hut up there. I'm not quite sure what they need. But with the wood and stone cutter upgraded, we can now upgrade to the workshop hut, which is going to unlock a whole slew of things for us, which we might not get to this episode, but it's good to have ready and waiting for us. And I also need to check on what the holdup with the gatherer's hut is. It should have been done by now. I cut down plenty of logs. I did not cut down plenty of logs. I, in fact, cut down 2 logs less than I need. But I'm surprised about the stones because I spent all night harvesting Jotun blood shards, the large ones. We should have plenty of those, so they're probably out of range now that I think about it. And there they are. I knew I had them lying around. I can't believe that's out of range, to be honest. Although now somebody has come out here to get the stones. I don't know what goes through these people's mind, but I'm going to put down one of the new resource flags because I haven't used one yet, and I'm excited about these new things. We've been asking for an all-in-one resource flag, I think, since day 2. Okay, so let's come into here. Wood, no, because I need to clear the tree line towards the beach. Stone, fine. Foraging, fine. Hunting, fine. Forestry, no, because at some point I'll forget and there'll be a bunch of trees breaking our road network and just getting in the way. So I think that is fine. And for me, it's back to harvesting. For you, again, whatever I decide to do in the future. Fan-bloody-tastic. Our starting salvo of buildings is done. We have our upgraded woodcutter, stonecutter's hut, our upgraded gatherer's hut behind me over there, and also our upgraded workshop. Now, before I push on into anything else, I do want to set some task priorities because I was kind of going a little bit ham trying to get these out, so I haven't done this properly. Let's, of course, come into our woodcutter and turn fibers off, resin off, and I'm going to bump logs to high, and that's just because I want Amy here to harvest all the logs that she can, which drop long sticks, firewood, and everything else anyway. So that to me just makes the most sense. Get all the logs you can first, then get all the other things that we will be needing as well, just in less of an upfront quantity. And then over at the gatherer, we will be assigning... we'll assign Dillionaire for now, since he'll become a farmer anyway, and having an improved gathering skill would help him harvest the crops that much faster. It's the best that we can do. We don't have an actual dedicated gatherer perked villager yet. And then here in the task menu, I want to bump flax seeds and flax to high. And that's really just so we can have plenty of seeds to kickstart our farm. When we get that up, that'll be the next building. And I'm going to do the same with berries, because if we can get a farm going with flax and berries, that would be super, super helpful, right? That's the goal. I want to be helpful to my villagers, despite them constantly being unhelpful to me. So now comes the big push into tier 2, and we'll start off by having a snack because I am hungry. Let's eat a couple of fish. Let's have a little drink. Now, I would like another villager, but A, I am out of Jotun blood, and B, we are out of housing. Rusty is actually homeless right now. Sorry about that, Rusty. So what I want to do is it's time to build that farm, is the first thing I always say. And farm-wise, if we look at our map, I'm thinking having a farming community out here. Not an outpost, but, you know, this is where we can concentrate our farms. This will be where our industry goes. And then, you know, we'll expand this way eventually. So I want to come and take a look at this area, put down a farm, maybe a shelter for the farmer. And that is the next part of what we're doing. I feel like we're finally playing the game now. I feel like everything up until this point is just getting your stuff together, getting your tools together, getting your villagers in. But now we have all of that. It is time to push on into the actual core of the game. This area is quite nice, actually. We got a nice little kind of like high part here, looking down into a fertile basin, I'm going to call it. So I think this is going to work out just lovely for our little farming area. Going to have to do a lot of landscaping here, though. We're going to be doing a lot of landscaping, I feel, because it is a bit wonky So let's start off with a little bit of landscaping, a little bit of terrain leveling down here. And I want to start off with the lowest point that kind of looks to be around here at the tree line. We can drag that out. Might not make a lot of difference in this area, but we do want to tag the lowest height so that, you know, we don't have a bunch of topsy-turvy, wonky-donkey farms. Also, apparently, every time I say wonky-donkey, I get a comment. It's like, no, you've got that stuck in my head now. So sorry, I think I've said it 2 or 3 times this episode already. But we are against the clock a little bit. It's 5 o'clock in the evening. And I would like to get this farm up before everyone goes to bed, because then I would be able to work on the fields. I'll be able to work on the crop rotation, the pathing, and all that sort of good stuff. So hopefully our builders will come straight out here and get to work, and I can cut down some of the resources around here for them. They might need to bring things like rope along with them. But yeah, that's the goal. Let's see if we can get this down before nightfall. I don't know. I don't know how long 3 hours in extended is. That's oh, hold on, they're almost done. I don't want them to run back to the main part of the village. Let's put down another landscaping area for them to work on. I want to keep them out here until I put down the farmer's hut. That way they're not going backwards and forwards like a bloody yo-yo. I don't think yo-yos were invented this far back. I don't know what the Viking equivalent of a yo-yo is. Ooh, and we just lost a water source, and now is a perfect segue into mods. What mods am I running? Well, I have put them in the description, but for anyone who doesn't go that far down, don't blame you. I never read a video's description. We are running with the Builder Buddy mod just because it is a fantastic mod, one of my absolute favorites. It just makes things so much easier. It's not very cheaty. It's not a cheaty mod as far as mods go, because it's just a really good quality of life mod. And even though it lets you put down wells anywhere you like, I don't think that's a problem. A well is just a really big bucket, and you can put a bucket anywhere you want. That's the beauty of a big bucket. That's kind of like one of their defining features. They are big, and you can put them on the floor, and then they will store things like water in. So that's why I don't think that the Builder Buddy well placement is that much of an issue. Not for me, anyway, at least. Anyway, mini soapbox over. I guess I don't know if you call that a soapbox, but the farm hut is now placed. Our builders are going to get started on that. We have plenty of sticks, long sticks. I might not have enough logs. Honestly, I just wanted them to get started on it. And 6 o'clock, 2 hours left until they start their evening leisure time. Yeah, I think we got this one in the bag. I think it's got to be a pretty... I don't think it's going to be an issue getting this up before they bugger off to bed. I've become increasingly aware throughout this episode that I said I wanted to assign a woodcutter to the woodcutter's hut early so that I wouldn't have to go through the ordeal of harvesting fur. And I've spent the better half of my day harvesting nothing but fur. The sun's getting low. Are they gonna get it? We're down to the wire here. I don't even have the UI on. I don't know what time it is. 1 stone and a lot of rope. Well, I can't help with the stone because I just broke my pickaxe a second ago. But I can help with the rope. I need bark. I got lots of bark here. We cut down a lot of trees. I wanted to do panic music. I got to get this up. Not that it matters. I'll finish it off when they've gone to bed if it comes to it. But I just, you know, I've got it in my head now that I need the villagers to finish this off before they go to bed. It's sort of like my little goal. That was some good timing. It is getting to the darkest part of the day. So we got the farm up. That's a good start. I am in the darkest part of the world right now. I'm in a basin at sunset. Can't see a thing. All right, the day's coming to an end. It looks like our villagers will be packing up for the night soon, so I am going to go ahead and do all of the nighttime activities, set the farm fields up, perhaps do a bit of landscaping. It is dark. I can't see. I will see you guys in the morning. Okay, we are playing a little bit of musical houses, but just to give Rusty the house in the village, and I moved a Dillionaire out to the shelter I built next to the farm, as they are going to be our farmer, obviously. Let's not forget to add a rake to the workshop queue. Good morning. I am just here hanging out with my crew, my buddies, as they are about to start work. I did break the curse, though, of the small Jotun shards, only given 1 Jotun blood. I got 2, finally, once out of 4. But still, like, I got 2 Jotun blood, so I am officially not cursed. But 1 out of 10 or so, I am officially ridden with some extremely bad luck. But here's the beginnings of our little farm. We got 3 fields. 2 of them are doing flax only, and 1 of them is doing a medley field. Now, the reason I'm doing 2 flax and 1 vegetable is my villagers are pretty much still all tier 1, so I don't really need to have any soups made yet. They are quite content scoffing their faces with all of the cooked fish. And since I'm producing so many fish meats from all the pike that I'm catching during the night too, there's just no need really for me to push towards a cooking hut right now. So I would rather just stockpile as much flax as I can, because we are going to have a population explosion once we start building cottages, and they will all obviously need to have some clothing before winter hits. But one thing that I didn't put down in the night, because it gets really, really dark in a fertile basin, I don't know if you know that, but it does. It gets really, really dark. But I need to put down a water well for our farm here. But now I want to do a tiny bit of landscaping. I want to pull out this flat area a little bit so we can build a warehouse here for all of the goods that the farm produces, that being vegetables and flax. Because ultimately my plan is to have lots of little trade hubs. I know, just having immediate flashback to the 9 rounds. That was a horrible amount of trade routes. But I do want some trade routes going throughout the village, not just for logistics, obviously, that we all need to make the village run efficiently, but I also think it will go a long, long way towards making the village look authentic and feel alive, you know, because we're going to have people running around with carts delivering goods like you would in a normal city, in a normal town, in a normal village. But right off the bat, we are not having nearly as many as I had in the 9 realms. I'm not doing that again. That was horrific. That was, yeah. And I'm thinking about it now. That was absolutely horrific, wasn't it? Ooh, I don't know where I went. I don't know where I went there, but I am back now. Now let's go ahead and plan a warehouse to store all of the farm produce at. Okay, let's prepare the ground. Well, how about that? All right, where are these demonic little bunny rat bastards?
Enemy spotted.
There you are. Knife attack. Go, go, go. Hey, get back here, you little bastards. This is going to be quite cruel, I'm warning you. If I set you down against the shoreline, you will have nowhere to go. I don't even feel bad. There's our bones, by the way. We need those. Where is your friend? There you are. You couldn't resist coming back, and you got stuck on a rock. Yoink! Alright, so Canute arrived during the Smolkrs Shenanigans, and they are a Stone Breaker, Stout Constitution, Snow Strider, with Rain Dancer and Resilient Surge. So yeah, actually quite good perks for a Stone Cutter and Eventual Miner. So let's go ahead and rename you ASKA. Nice. All right, with that excitement over, I want to give my builders a nice big task for them to busy themselves with while I get cracking on some landscaping and pathing. And even if the villagers ultimately don't use the pass for now, it will give me an idea at least on how I want things to develop. So let's go ahead and start by tearing down the 6 shelters, which I kind of always view not so much as shelters, but more like cottage build material storage, because most of the materials that we need to build the cottage will actually come from these 6 shelters. I mean, they're not going to give the logs or the large stones, but as far as bark, sticks, and long sticks go, yeah, we've pretty much got everything here. And I also want to tear down the gatherer's hut, so let's go ahead and empty it out. And I'm going to rebuild it closer to the farm. It'll just have a bit more synergy over there, you know, because our farmer will be able to grab the seeds from it, and we'll have that warehouse eventually storing raw food. So over there just makes a little bit more sense than all the way over here. So that is gone. Now, cottage, I do want to try and respect the area we've already flattened. Why do I never go to the right tab the first time? And how I envision it evolving is we'll put it around about here, a little bit back from the well. So when people wake up, they can come outside, they can get a little drinky drink. And that space on the right-hand side, I do want to build some gardens the same way that I was doing in New Asgard in the 9 realms, because not only were they super functional and the villagers would sit down and enjoy them, but they also sent the housing scores into the stratosphere because of all the decorations that were going into them. So that is something I'm definitely going to be doing more of as we move forward. But now it's time to move downward with a nice dirt path connecting the industrial area to our housing area. And honestly, I don't really know how to start. I'm quite bad at paths. Usually takes me 4 or 5 passes, which, you know, I can either show you or cut out, whichever way it goes. But okay, let's start breaking ground on some pathing. Oh, I completely forgot to make that spiked club, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get a blood moon. Tonight is day 4. You usually get your first blood moon on day 4, and I don't have a weapon. I do have bones, though. Hey, Rusty, can you make me that weapon, please, buddy? Here are the bones you'll be needing. And you may as well take all this other crap as well. Rusty's really fast at crafting. He's already done it. He did it before I closed the UI. Thanks, buddy. All right, the first of many roads has been done, I would show you, but it is extremely dark and I'm expecting company. So I'm going to go ahead and have a drink, a snack, and a nap. Then after that, I'm going to come back to the game and do the same with my character. That was a bad joke, Bucky. Okay, so it's 9:30, so 30 minutes until we maybe get a blood moon. So I'm going to go ahead and just do some fishing because we only have 1 day of spring. So only 1 day left of the magnificent pike before they despawn and are replaced with the far less magnificent perch. And that might mean we'll need an alternative source of meat. So going out and looking for a safer herbivore spawn is probably going to be quite high on the agenda because we certainly can't hunt those smokers that are flanked with wolves and the bear, not yet at least. I mean, eventually, yeah, that's going to be an amazing hunting ground, but right now we will just get mauled. And it's 10, so I guess no blood moon. I guess there's a blood moon. Right on top of us as well. I've never had one spawn so close. Hello? Anyone here? Any undead, any zombies or skeletons? Where are they? Oh, that one made me jump. Okay, first blood moon of the new series, Viking difficulty. Let's see how we fare. Hey, get back here. They are ignoring me. So far, we are faring quite well. Ooh, absolutely rinsed that one. I heard a weapon being drawn, but I don't see another skeleton. I just see a bunch of whites. Where's the skeleton? Oh, my villagers are attacking it. How? Why? Interesting. Time for a cinematic smackdown. that was really easy, actually. My villagers did a lot of the work too. Proud of them. I don't know why they were attacking instead of running away, though. It must be a thing that triggers when in proximity to a house. I always thought it was when the house got hit, but maybe there's a different trigger. But anyway, first blood moon of the series. Vastly underwhelming, and we're done already, I guess. But don't worry, it's only going to get harder from here. But while I go ahead and harvest up the bodies, as well as do my nighttime routines of fishing and preparing for the next day, let's talk Misfortunes. As a quick recap, the Runes of Misfortune mechanic is my way of adding a healthy dose of chaos into this series by letting you vote on a village crisis that I will either have to deal with, or, in some cases, live with. Now, obviously, some misfortunes don't apply right now because we're either not there yet, progression-wise, or they would simply annihilate the village in 5 seconds flat. But I think we can start off at least with some of the lesser evils, so here are the options for my first misfortune. Terror in the night. A mysterious shadow haunts the night, striking fear into the hearts of the villagers. They refuse to work at night until the evil has been vanquished. To end this crisis, the necromancer must be found and slain. Drowned in green. A thick green bloom has covered the lake, killing this season's fish. This crisis blocks lake fishing and will persist until the season changes. It doesn't bend that way. While out on one of my nighttime Jotun runs, a moment of distraction leads to a fractured arm. I am unable to build, harvest resources, or even fight for the duration of the episode. Eye wide shut. The Eye of Odin lays silent. No villagers can be summoned for the duration of the episode. Blood noon rising. The enemy has sent a large raiding party. At noon on the first day, spawn 5 skeletons, 5 whites, and 5 Draugr 20 meters away from the Eye of Odin in a random direction. And finally, the silence of the Smolkrs. Spawn a metric ton of Smolkrs, and I'm not allowed to interrupt their feast. I feel like no matter what you guys choose, I'm screwed. To vote on a misfortune, you can either head to my Discord and cast your vote on the poll there, or leave a comment below, just making sure to write the word misfortune as part of your reply so that I can easily search and find it. And one last thing to keep in mind, since I record 1 episode ahead, you can expect the Chosen Crisis to strike in episode 4, and then moving forward, we will have misfortunes occur every 3 episodes, which should afford me plenty of time to recover, but more importantly, plenty of time for you to have your voices heard. Because that, to me, is the most important part of this series. This is a community-driven series, and I want to involve as many of you as I can. But that is it for today's episode. I'm a little bit nervous to see how this misfortune system rolls out, but I am also super excited to see how it will affect, impact, and change the way we progress in this series. So thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed your time here, then please consider grabbing a sub, dropping a like, or leaving a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheerio.